Guys, I have somebody to introduce you to. Meet the brand new DJI robot. Say hi, buddy. This is the brand new Mavic Pro 3 Cine. It's got freaking 3 cameras and freaking lasers. I don't know if it has lasers, but it's got 3 cameras. Okay, let's check it out. It's a little windy. Princess did all the flying there. That was all Princess.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for flying the drone for me. Thanks for coming with me.
No problem.
Do you remember my first drone?
Sorry, do I remember your first drone?
My first drone.
Oh yeah, the one I used to carry up mountains and stuff for you.
Do you remember when I crashed it?
No.
In Norway. We were at that big antenna tower thing and I was about to land it.
Yeah.
And then it just fell out of the sky. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Come a long way to strapping GoPros to drones. Now we got 3 cameras built in. Filmmaking's too easy. Too easy. Honestly, there's this theme building in my head about how filmmaking is just too easy nowadays. We have all of these insanely powerful tools to tell our stories, to make our videos, and really the only thing that's left is just your creativity, because pretty much anything you want to do is basically possible now in a fairly affordable and fairly accessible way. 3 cameras on 1 drone. I still remember the days of strapping a little GoPro to my Phantom 2, and that was how I got drone footage. I had to like defish it and do all this stuff, and it looked great, but that was a lot of headache. The main camera, the most important camera, is that Micro Four Thirds 24mm Hasselblad camera. And it shoots up to 5.1K in ProRes, up to 50 frames per second. You can go all the way to 120 frames per second in 4K and 200 frames per second in 1080, which I haven't actually tested out yet. All in ProRes if you have the Cine version, which I do, and I think it's a pretty nice upgrade that I would strongly recommend looking into. We also have a new 10-bit D-Log M color mode. I'm not exactly sure what the differences are, but I'm very curious to see how much better it is. Camera number 2 is a 70mm, which is really cool, a 3x zoom. It's a 1/1.3 inch sensor, so a lot smaller obviously than the Micro Four Thirds sensor, and it can shoot up to 60 frames per second in 4K, and we get ProRes, and we get that D-Log. And that third camera is a 166mm telephoto 7x zoom camera. 1/2-inch sensor, 4K up to 60 frames per second, but there is no D-Log. And of course, it's the least high quality camera, especially because that main camera is so insane. And honestly, I didn't expect that zoom to be very good at all, but I gotta say, it's actually pretty impressive. I think it's a lot better than in the Mavic 3, at least in my experience. And honestly, coming to this drone, I was a little bit like, more zoom, more cameras. It felt a little bit gimmicky to me, so I wasn't that excited about it. But as I started flying, I was like, this completely changes how I can get these more cinematic shots, I would call it, because the only time we see these kinds of shots are basically in movies or high-end commercials, because you gotta have a really big drone with a big camera and zoom lens, or a helicopter with a zoom lens to get these kinds of shots. And the quality isn't that bad, especially on that 3x zoom. It's actually pretty decent. And you get these crazy like parallax type shots that just I have never gotten before. It's a completely new perspective, and it kind of opened my eyes. And all of a sudden I was like, huh, there's a whole bunch of new kinds of drone shots that I can now get with these zoom lenses. There's also a whole bunch of new ways to crash it. It's super sketchy feeling when you're flying and you're so zoomed in and you really can't see anything that's coming up. So be careful. It's definitely easy to crash this thing. Obviously, if you have the obstacle sensing stuff, then that'll help. But most of the time, I turn all that stuff off so I can just fly however I need to fly. I almost have to retrain my brain into thinking about all these new options now, because basically I've just done the wide drone shots, which I have to say are still by far the best kind of drone shots in my opinion, just because it makes things feel so dynamic, especially when you're flying close to things. But these zoom shots are very, very interesting, really cool, and you can just get these like crazy views so easily, and this just wasn't possible unless you had some crazy big drone with like real cameras, real zoom lens, and all of that stuff before. Now you have those options inside of your little prosumer drone thing, and it's also a mini robot. It's absurd how easy filmmaking and photography is getting. You have 43 minutes of flight time, cruise control, so you can just set it and forget it and it'll just keep flying if you want to do like a really cool time lapse or something like that. We have waypoints, so you can actually choose like a path for it to fly, and then it just flies it for you. High-speed quick transfer, so you can get the footage off the drone really fast onto your phone using Wi-Fi. There's no question in anybody's mind, I don't think, that DJI is the king of drones. And I honestly thought that we kind of already had the perfect drones, and now we're in like bonus rounds. We're just getting all these bonus things that I didn't even know that I needed or wanted. Okay, need might be a little bit of exaggeration, but honestly, it does kind of open up this whole new world of drone shots that I never ever thought about before. Also, this video is the first video I'm editing in DaVinci Resolve, so if it sucks for some reason, it's totally Resolve's fault, not mine. Hopefully I make the embargo. The Cine version has a 1 terabyte built-in SSD, which I personally absolutely love. I know it's expensive, but I really like it. I just like never having to worry about SD cards or any memory cards. It always has built-in storage and a lot of it, and super fast to take the footage off of there. And honestly, I really like that there's a bunch of different options to buying this drone. I'll give you all the options here. So you can get the Mavic 3 Pro combo with the DJI RC Pro controller for $3,899. Or you can get the Mavic 3 Pro combo with the DJI RC, the normal one, for $2,999. Or you can get the Mavic 3 Cine combo, very expensive, $4,799. Or you can get the Mavic 3 Pro with the DJI RC, not the combo or anything, for $2,199. That's nice. Nice to have a bunch of different options. You're not forced into buying this or that. You got options. Especially since this is the flagship prosumer drone. This is like the best that you can get without having to go into crazy land in terms of logistics and practicalities and all that stuff. This is still a very small drone. You can just put it in any backpack, fly it super easy. Yeah, this is the best of the best, and they just gave you a whole bunch of options. If you don't want to pay a ton of money for the Cine version, you don't have to. You have other options. The only problem is that it's just way too cute. Can't wait for the day that we have actual little DJI robots like this that can fly, do all sorts of things, and filmmaking will be even easier. All right, bye. I know, I clickbaited you guys. It's not an actual robot, but it might as well be because it's so freaking powerful. Got all sorts of stuff in there. Look at all these sensors and cameras, and just look at the face. Look at the face. Look at him. Look at him.